Growth doesn't happen in one role alone, but in everything we choose to invest our time and heart in. This podcast is a space where we explore our journeys, where experience meets reflection. Here we discuss growth not only in careers, but in values, in thoughts, and in everyday life. And with that thought, today we have a truly inspiring personality with us. Here we welcome Dr. Sabiha Mumtaj, who is a principal at PM Shri GGIC Khalilabad. She is also an in-charge deputy director and principal at DIET, that is District Institute of Education and Training. She is also an in-charge librarian at District Library in Sant Kabir Nagar. So here we have Dr. Sabiha Mumtaj. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. Hello,
Okay.
Ayushi.
Thank you, ma'am. We are very grateful for you to take out the time for this podcast. And before we talk about on the heavy topics, I really want to know how you are feeling about this whole podcast.
Yeah, this is a completely new thing, and believe me, this is for the first time for me also.
Yeah.
Just being on your podcast, and
Yeah.
CIS is doing great things in our district, and I wish all the best for future endeavors.
Oh, that was such a truly nice compliment for us, ma'am. Thank you so much. Before we jump on to your journey as a educator and everything, we would not like to know before taking on to so many responsibilities and as an adult or like as an educator, how were you before all these responsibilities piled up on you and as a learner, somebody who was still hustling up with life?
Yeah, exactly. As for all other people, same was with me also.
Yeah.
I remember as a kindergartner, I was shy, reticent. I was worried that my classmates may not ask me for erasers or sharpeners. I wanted to keep my teachers happy. I was always scribbling on my copy so that my cursive writing may look better. And slowly, gradually, over time, I started befriending my classmates, and then things took a different turn.
Okay, so with time, what do you think has changed in you? Like when you passed this phase of yours, what do you think has changed in you that now doesn't exist? That was just a previous part of you, good or bad, anything?
Uh, Previously, as I said, I was
Hmm.
shy. I was not good at socializing. So I kept myself to me only. And when
Uh,
my classmates were busy preparing for dance classes or for performance
yeah,
on the stage, I was just being, I was just at the back end of the stage, or I
yeah.
was just picking things for them. Then I gradually started to discover myself when I started befriending my classmates. Then my teachers gave me some responsibilities, and in doing those responsibilities, I started to discover myself, and then I started to know myself better. So that was a journey of knowing myself through doing certain things.
That sounds like such an introvert thing, huh, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Like you have gone through something, you would have realized that okay, this was something I could have done before that, so that I wouldn't have gone through something like you were like very you can say closed off, like you said, you know. So like students who are still at that age or someone who goes through that, what would one advice you would give to those students who are like going through that, जिनको ऐसा लगता है कि like मैं नहीं ज्वाइन कर सकता बिकॉज दे आर एन इंट्रोवर्ट उन्हें लगता है कि मैं कैसे ज्वाइन करूं या फिर दे आर लैकिंग कॉन्फिडेंस व्हाट वुड बी दैट वन पीस ऑफ एडवाइस यू वुड गिव टू देम
I would just say them that do it. That is the biggest mantra. Just go and do it. Don't bother about what would be the consequences, because
yeah
everything is a learning experience.
yeah
I remember I read a book and that said जिंदगी में risk ना लेना ही सबसे बड़ा risk
yeah
होता है, and that was one thing which I keep to myself till today, and that has helped me change myself. क्यों कहें जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा तो तजुर्बा होगा. So just
Oh
do it.
wow,
Go and do
that's
it.
such a line. That's such a good line, ma'am. I really appreciate it. So basically, you have to take the risk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the everyone watching, take the risk. Talk, go and talk to the friends, and just remove your fear of
Yes.
that log kya kahenge because
Huh?
nobody really cares enough. So, ma'am, let's move on to the topic that beyond the titles of who you are as professionally, what like beyond that, what would you describe yourself in 3 words?
I can say that I am kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of a person.
Yeah.
You might say that it is divergent with my present responsibilities, but this thing is in my attitude, because I took life as it came, I took challenges as they came. I was never a fixed goal seeker, I was never adamant. I was open to new things, I was
Yeah.
flexible. So that is my take on life, and that keeps me going.
Okay, that's such a ma'am. With all the things that you are today professionally, you are really humble, I must say. So, moving on, like you have 15 years of experience in education sector. I want to know what is that most memorable moment of your life, or is there any moment that you're very grateful for that you think has contributed into making who you are today?
Yeah, I was an educator, and I consider myself still to be the same. And over
Yeah.
15 years in my journey, I have seen my students smile.
Yeah.
It might be due to some sort of a motivation, some sort of a personal touch, some sort of a a support to them, and that has made all the difference, because making them believe in themselves
Yeah.
and making them confident that they're going to do something good in their life, they are going to be a good citizen, they are going to be a responsible son or daughter. That has kept me going, and that is one thing that is the takeaway from my career.
Okay, that was a really good point, ma'am. With your, like you have been with 15 years of experience, I think you might have a lot of experience with students, right?
Yeah.
What do you think students often overlook? It could be in communication, it could be in academics, it could be extracurricular activities. Something that students often overlook but is very important in their life, or they might be important in the future for them.
The most important thing in life are the
Yeah.
small things. We
Yeah.
often go for the greater goals and we overlook the smaller things in life. Like folding your own blanket, or making
Yeah.
a cup of tea for yourself, or washing your own plate, or maybe ironing your own clothes. Students tend to uh, give these responsibilities to their parents or their siblings or some servant. But if the
Yeah.
student do these small things on their own, that gives a sense of satisfaction, that gives them a confidence that will take them to bigger goals, which they can take care of with more sense of responsibility, and with more command.
Yeah, okay, that was such a nice. So basically, we have to just learn and learn because, like we have said, boon boon se ghada bharta hai.
जी.
So yeah, that's how we just
हाँ.
learn, do small things instead of making
हाँ,
bigger
हाँ,
goals. We
हाँ,
can just step by step reach onto that.
हाँ. The
Okay.
small things matter more in life, and they
Yeah.
take you to greater heights.
Yeah, ma'am, we know that you have a podcast named English Classes, right?
Yeah.
Where you are reaching students beyond the classroom. I just want to know what is your main objective of that whole podcast and where did that idea come from?
Actually, I started the podcast during COVID times
Yeah.
when the physical classes were suspended. And during the online classes, I felt that students are bunking classes, and there was no sort of a thing to lure them to the classes. So I made it easier, because things which are enjoyable and easy, people tend to do them with more joy and more sincerity. So I developed a podcast channel where I put my lectures in the form of a series, and students went there at their ease. They had the flexibility to do it multiple times if they
Yeah.
did not understand in one go. So that was the thing, to help the student take their syllabus from a different perspective.
Yeah.
From with the backing of technology, it made it easier, and it made the learning times flexible.
Yeah, so basically you have made learning more fun, right?
Yeah.
Because हम लोग को boring syllabus से नहीं, but
Mm-hmm.
we are connecting it in a much more
Learning is
fun.
outside
Yeah.
the confines of the classroom, and your
Yeah.
teachers are there for you always. That was also a message. You
Yeah.
can always connect.
Yeah. So, ma'am, why now that you are running English classes, what kind of feedback that you have received from your students or your audience? Something that shocked you in a good or a bad way, whatever.
No, I didn't get any shocks, but yes, the students gave some suggestions,
Yeah.
and they discussed where they could not understand or the pace of the lecture. If
Yeah.
they made me realize that I can divide it into different sessions. I can make a series on one topic only, so
Yeah.
they can take the lessons in different bits.
I think that's what makes I think English classes are much more better because we can just communicate and like
हाँ.
we can just
They can
get
give the
a
feedback.
better. Yeah. So, ma'am, you have also written a book towards betterment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I actually stumbled upon it and I just want to know what that book is about.
actually, as our conversation is going on, you must be judging me that I like to talk to the teenagers, and that has been my
Yeah,
passion,
yeah,
and that keeps me youthful at heart also.
yeah,
So in my book, I've it's sort of a communication to the younger generation, that
yeah.
how to look at your school, how to look at your education, what are your responsibilities, what do you think are your responsibilities, and what actually are your responsibilities, and how can you add a bit to the society so that others can also benefit from your talent and your efforts.
Okay, that was such a nice. Ma'am, what is that one line? Like you said that you like talking to teenagers. What is that one line that could convince a teenager to read your book, or
uh,
something that is like any idea from that book?
I just want to say to all the people listening out there, and to the other persons also, that one line is, which I think is the takeaway from my book, is learn to learn and learn to unlearn.
Oh
Because we
wow.
often learn some things which are not right, and to get
Yeah.
rid of them is a big burden. So we must be open to unlearning things also, and that will make us a better human being.
Okay, that was such a good line. I'm sure everybody would like to read that book. And,
Please.
ma'am, apart from writing, you have also, I think, published some poems, right?
Yeah, I like to write poetry.
Poetries. I just would like to know that how poetry helps you express in a way that maybe other forms of writing does not.
uh, Poetry, as far as it is concerned with me, I like poetry because it's sort of a writing that you do not do deliberately.
Yeah.
When there are some things which are hovering on your head, or you feel something, or you are deeply touched by something, some incident in the world, or your personal interactions, then you sit down to write.
Yeah.
And poetry is a very potent weapon. It is a mode of
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Poetry can be rebellious without being cruel.
Yeah.
Poetry can be didactic with and entertaining at the same time.
Yeah.
So I like poetry because we say things in a nuanced way.
Yeah. Um,
And
Okay. Any book of poetry that you like the most, or any author that you would say that, okay, this is the author that I like?
we are privileged to have such great poets in our society.
Yeah.
I think we belong to North India, and I will ask all of the people listening this podcast, please go and read Kabir Das. He's
Yeah.
such a gem of a poet. He was a social reformer and poet at the same time, and in couplets he has put so much knowledge and so much
Yeah.
thought provoking ideas. Just read them over and over again, and you will discover great treasures. Please,
Yeah.
Gitanjali is also one suggestion I would give. People must read Gitanjali. It brought Nobel to India, and
Yeah.
it is filled with ideas and emotions and being humane.
Yeah, okay. That was such a grateful thought, ma'am, because Kabir Das also has some of the Kabir Das, I think, written poetries are in the NCRT as well, and they are just
It's all over.
fabulous. They are
They are
fabulous.
fabulous, and they are contextual even after so many years.
Years, yeah, because NCRT changes every like their form of writings and everything, but they did not change this because Kabir Das is a
Kabir Das,
legend. He's a legend.
his magic can never fade.
Yeah. On the lighter note, ma'am, do you write poetry spontaneously, or do you just plan to write it and just sit down and like think and that I'm gonna write a poetry, or like?
No, no, it's never deliberate. As I said,
Yeah.
it is spontaneous. Maybe I cannot jot it down at the same moment when the thought comes in my mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes the thoughts vanish, and I'm never able to recollect it. But
Yeah.
it's just a spontaneous thing.
I think it's the magic of your mind.
Observations,
Yeah.
maybe.
Ma'am, you have also edited books, right?
Yeah.
My Discoveries with Saptashi and
Krishna
Krishna
Charitam.
Charitam. So, like, how was that experience different from your, like, right? You have written your own book as well. How was both of the experiences different in a way?
See, being an editor and being a writer are duties poles apart.
Yeah.
As a writer, you put your own feelings into a
Yeah.
sequence,
Yeah.
and you go and read it for a second time or a third time. You add something, you delete something, and that is done.
Yeah.
Being an editor, you have to look the work through two lenses.
Yeah.
You have to be the writer who wants to convey, and you have to be the reader who is the receptive one.
Yeah.
And you have to build a bridge through the mind of the writer to the mind of the reader, that the message is conveyed in its full form.
Yeah.
So as an editor, you have got a double job, and sometimes you have to read for example, in Krishna Charitam,
Yeah.
I had to look for authenticity also, and I had to
Yeah.
make that book more lucid and more welcoming to the reader, so that they can know about
Yeah.
the character who is a character in our culture, in our society, from
Yeah.
our mythological books. So every person has a perspective of Krishna in his or her own
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
I did not have to
Surely.
disturb that, and I had to bring some value to the perspective already existent in the person's mind.
Yeah.
So I had to read also, and I had to discuss a lot, and that was a lengthy affair.
Yeah, that shows how great of an author and editor you are. That is such a like great thought. I'm like, okay, that is such a good thing for me to know. Ma'am, being a Muslim, also you have edited books like Krishna Charitam. Ma'am, what perspective did you like bring into it, and how was that experience? Because being in a stereotypical society, people are like, oh my God, she's a Muslim and she's editing like a Hindu
That
philosophical book, and that is like something, and you crossing all that thoughts, you have edited a book like that.
being
Was
born in northern India, we have had such things in our surroundings right
yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah,
In our course, in the high school level, I studied Krishna through the lens of Mirabai and Ras Khan,
yeah,
and then we had the Mithila paintings. When I
yeah,
visited Agra, I saw those paintings painted as murals on the walls of the forts. So we take our culture in a receptive way also. If I am not actively engaged, it does not mean that I am not taking it. Krishna is in our culture. He is all pervasive in all the forms of literature, art, and our discourses, and even in the folk songs. So that was not difficult for me. It was a sort of a task that helped me to know him better, and
yeah,
we have been taught to know our society and to be didactic towards our society through stories from our mythology. So
yeah,
the Gita is also a part of Mahabharata, and people take motivation, and people
yeah.
tend to be on the right path from the teachings there.
Hmm.
So it was enjoyable for me also.
Yeah, because you are such an open-minded person for this. Because still people have that stereotypical mindset that a Muslim cannot edit a Hindu philosophical book, or a Hindu cannot edit a Muslim philosophical book, and you have crossed all that boundaries editing this book. Ma'am, apart from like being doing so much in like your professional life and having such a busy schedule, you also have a lot of hobbies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how that helps you stay grounded and like something that keeps you, because you said that you love, I think, gardening, right? And saying I think
Cooking,
suggesting, yeah,
and creative
yeah,
writing.
creative writing. So
Yes.
how that does
These are
that
my permanent
helps you?
hobbies. I like cooking, I like gardening, I like creative writing, I like talking to people, I like venturing into new things, because these things are a sort of meditation for me. These things are a sort of stress buster for me. These activities cannot be multitasked. If I am cooking, I am
Yeah.
cooking
Okay.
for the sake of pleasure
Hmm.
and for the sake of being connected with my family. When I'm talking to somebody, that is a sort of observation for me, and that is also a sort of knowing people better.
Yeah.
So these things help me de-stress myself, and these things help me build more observations so that I can take on new responsibilities.
Yeah, you're such a multitasking personality, ma'am, because having so many hobbies, doing so much, and you're still so humble, that is such a good thing. Apart from like this, you are also an in-charge librarian, right?
Yeah.
Where like young, like in district library in Sant Kabir
Sant
Nagar.
Kabir Nagar.
Ma'am, in this generation where like the students are now preferring digital preferences more than books, how do you think this library can still stay relevant and like something that could be engaging to young minds? Because now people just choose to read it from a PDF instead of going and buying a book or borrowing a book from a library. How do you think?
Yeah, as you said, the magic of books, the charm of books can never fade. Books
Yeah.
will always attract minds. And we have developed our libraries in such a way that
Yeah.
it is now catering to both the needs. The students who want to read from a gadget, they have
Hmm.
got the access to computers where we have online books, stores of
Okay.
them, and we have got the books in physical forms also. We have got paperbacks, we have got hardbound books, and we have got newspapers and magazines. So when a person comes to the library, maybe he or she is willing to read it from a screen.
Yeah.
But when we see other people reading, discussing, or just sorting books, then some sort of a call comes from our own heart that we
Yeah.
should also do the same thing. And when believe me, when students come, they try to read from the screens, but when they sift the books from the shelves,
Yeah.
they try to take it to their homes and they read it
Yeah.
from the physical form of the book.
Yeah.
So it is in a hybrid mode, and we cannot eradicate technology, we can use it to our own
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah, that is because young minds nowadays just like are like some people who are just like lazily reading it, and because I think people in the I think previous generation just used to read it like, okay, I'm going to borrow the book from the library. So I think that's a good step, because having digital things in the library just makes the people go there and like
Yeah.
read it
Yeah,
and
it's equally
everything.
appealing for the younger generation and the
Yeah.
older generation.
Yeah.
We have got senior citizens sitting beside a 10th class student, and they are discussing and exchanging ideas. So that is one achievement of our library.
Yeah, ma'am, you're a writer, you're a poet, you're an editor. So somewhere along this journey, communication might have played a very big part in your life.
Yeah.
So how is that like? Would you like to tell like to the students like they want to get a better communication, like the skills and everything? What would you suggest to them? Like, do they need to read books or get classes, or what is your idea on getting a better communication?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. You have to read books also, you have to communicate to people also, you have to communicate to yourself also.
Yeah.
So you can start from your own self. You have got ideas, every person has got great ideas, every person has got something to laugh at, something to ponder at, every
Yeah.
person has got some topics to worry about. So communication is one thing that will make your expressions clearer to the
Yeah.
people around you. So just talk to your family members, talk to your colleagues, talk to your classmates, talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
And reading is a very good habit. You can read lighter literature, if not philosophical. You have so much to explore, you can find your own taste there. So just
Yeah.
read, just talk, and gradually you will see that you are enjoying it. And communication matters the most. You have seen so many orators changing the course of history. So many
Yeah.
speeches are quoted for people to take inspiration from. I have a dream speech
Yeah.
from America, the tryst with destiny speech
Yeah.
from India.
Yeah.
You know, and many other speeches are there which inspired so many people to turn the course of history. So why not? You have got all that innate talent, you just need to put up it for you.
Yeah, so basically, communication has a very mixed,
It,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
learn it, and
And
younger
communication
minds
is not
especially.
only verbal communication. You communicate through your facial expressions, you
Yeah.
communicate through your body language. So take care of it. How do you communicate to other people? And being polite and being kind is very important in life. Try to be compassionate, try to understand the feelings of the other people, try to be empathetic, and then nobody can stop you.
Yeah. So, ma'am, before now we end the discussion in this podcast, what is the one line or one message you would like to give to the students who are watching today, who are very excited to see you?
So the one thing I would like to say to the people listening, I will quote a line from Picasso.
Yeah.
The meaning of life is to find your own gift, but the purpose of life is to give it away. So do your bit for society, do your bit for others, what you can do, and that will give you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of purpose, and a sense of self worth. Do good, be kind, be yourself. Good luck. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching us today. We had a very good personality with us today, and we are very thankful, ma'am. You again you
It's
took up.
entirely my pleasure.
Yeah. So thank you for watching us, and